And we are live. Happy Sunday, guys. Happy Sunday. It's 9:36 in the morning, and it is Sunday, August 6th. Welcome, guys, to another live. Today is day 11, and we're going to be kind of covering and going back off of and picking back in from what we covered, yesterday, which was day 10. Now, what we covered was pretty much we ended in notes on basically artificial intelligence. We're talking about artificial intelligence. We're talking about how artificial intelligence impacts the business world. We're talking about how artificial intelligence is it a threat or is it pretty much something in which we should embrace, right? So for this, we're pretty much just going to be going ahead and we're just going to go ahead and touch up on a little few things that are happening, a little bit of, I want to call it the artificial intelligence news. But the first thing first, I want to go ahead and start this live off by commentary and kind of sharing her experience and what she believes is the future of artificial intelligence. And this is going to be a commentary by Leila Humozi. Okay, so let's go ahead and give this a listen.
The World Economic Forum estimated that AI will replace 85 million jobs by 2025. A reminder that 60% of the jobs that exist today did not exist a generation ago. So then the question is, what jobs are going to be eliminated and which ones are going to be created? The top three that seem the soonest to be eliminated are the following. First is a customer service rep. We are already so close to automating customer service, and this is a low dollar transactions, right? So I'm not talking about people that buy things that are $40,000, but people that buy things that are a few dollars, $20, $40, $50. That job is very soon going to be able to be automated, especially now that voice AI and video AI are coming. The second is data entry. The reason that this is being pursued so much by AI companies is because there's so much room for human error in data entry that it is a high ROI investment of the technology to put it towards that. Third is courier services. What that means is delivering packages, delivering mail, things like that. Starship Technology has been doing this since 2017, where it's replaced all of its couriers with robots and droids. The world.
So okay, now which is interesting. I want to kind of come back in full circle here and kind of take you guys' perspective and take your perspective on this in the sense as to how artificial intelligence is actually going to impact or is actually impacting the global economic scale. Now she kind of mentioned and she brought up a few things which she talked about AI basically replacing and kind of taking in over that niche of customer service. Now if you paid attention yesterday, I basically showed that video and I showed you the video of McDonald's. Okay, I showed the video of McDonald's. This is McDonald's basically automating the customer service, automating the waiter. It wasn't a waiter. It was a robot waiter. You had a robot waiter who was basically weighing tables and bringing and delivering a menu, delivering an order. Now, most people might go, okay, well, there might be that whole perspective of like, okay, am I impacted? Am I going to be impacted by AI? What's going to be the impact of AI in my life? What's going to be the AI? Is my job at risk? Because people are thinking, is AI coming for? Is it coming for everybody's job? Is it coming for everything in the entire industry? I don't think so. That's not. And I want to go ahead and share. I want to go ahead and share this business insider. Let's go ahead and share this and let's cover this. So this is an article from Business Insider. Okay, so Business Insider basically spoke and kind of details, and this is just their opinion as far as jobs that they believe AI will actually play a role in, and jobs that they believe that AI will basically you know, replace or in some way, shape, or form take over. So we have customer service, right? Now, if you are not paying attention, they're basically chatbots, right? So this is if you're in a customer service position, especially if you are in a customer service position where you're having to interact with customers via chat, via text, all of that with the introduction of Chat GPT is 100% getting automated. Okay, it's getting automated because people don't. I mean, it's cheaper to pay a subscription for $100 or $200 and have an AI chatbot do all the conversing and talking to your customers. And in most cases, the AI actually does a way, 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 in my opinion, a way better job than actually sometimes than actual people. Although it might lack a little bit of the human one-on-one interaction, the AI actually, for the most part, does do a lot as far as the customer service position. So if you're in a customer service position now, is this saying that is it going to come for your position now? I don't think so. I think that at the end of the day, a customer service position is something that's always going to be needed. But I would recommend if you're in a customer service role to be kind of something you're looking into, like, hey, should I, you know, higher level skills, right? And now, the second thing in which it's going to cover here is the second job the AI is replacing is, we have customer service, and let's see here. this is a Business Insider accountants. Okay, so it's replacing accountants. I just realized I had this backwards. Okay, so accountants. So in the census to accountant, in the census to when it comes to numbers, AI does a very very very, I would say, very very good job at the numbers, and although a lot of people might, it actually does a way better job. I mean, if you look at most accountant, if you look at most people in colleges, like I tell you an example. So a friend son of mine, the son. So we were talking, and he was like, because we're talking about Chat GPT, right? We're talking, was like talking about Chat GPT. He was like, okay, he's like, for the first time ever, he's writing a book. So for the first time ever, he was like, dude, ChatGPT for his school, and they gave him, he had a paper that he had to write, right? So he basically was like, dude, it wrote everything for me with the tonalities, with everything just right. It fine tuned everything. Everything was great, and it looked like it was actually written by a real person, right? So why am I saying this? I'm saying this in the sense as to AI is pretty much kind of taking over in a way, because it's taking over that long-winded task. Like if you need to write an email, rather than you just write an email, you can say write an email with Oprah's voice. And you guys stick around to the end of the video. I'm going to show you guys a few demonstrations as to how AI is basically use cases and how you can basically use artificial intelligence. And same thing as well as to, in my perspective, as to, if you look at the thumbnail for this video, this was all created and generated by AI. So that as well, I'm going to be covering as well. So just go ahead and make sure that you stick around. Okay. So we got accountants. Now, the next thing that we have here is we have graphic designers. Now, what is fascinating is, in the graphic design, and in as we continue the course of this live, I'm going to be sharing with you guys and completely AI generated, image of me. All right. I'm going to be showing you guys a completely AI generated video trailer. I'm also going to be showing you how AI is basically impacted even Hollywood, in which they're using artificial intelligence in movies like the movie Flash, right? So it's coming in the sense as to, do you need to hire a graphic designer? Maybe you do have to hire a graphic designer. Maybe you don't have to hire a graphic designer. But the grand scheme of things and the reality of things is AI is coming in, and it is taking over a lot of things. But it's coming in, and it is automating the way we do and react to most of our day-to-day activities on our day-to-day lives. All right. So next thing we have here is we have the traders. I don't know much about this. I don't really do much about day-to-day trading. So I am probably the last person to comment on anything that has to day-to-day trading, because honestly, I'm not a I was a finance guy, believe it or not. I was a finance guy, and for the most part, I did a little bit of financing, especially on the insurance side. But if you ask me right now for financial advice, I would just tell you to go, talk to someone else, because, I'm probably the last person you want to ask when it comes to financial advice, right? So you have traders, right? Then the next thing you have here is you have AI basically coming in for financial analysts, personal financial advisors. Like I said, I'm not really big on financial space, so I'm not really going to give you much, talk about that. Teachers, what's fascinating is, so I needed to learn, there was a few elements of code that I needed to do, right? And I didn't know, how to format it, or basically the layout. And I just went and I asked ChatGPT, and it just went ahead and did everything for me. Now, is it going to replace day-to-day teachers? No. But if you actually look at it, AI can actually give you the same formatting, the same lack of a better word, the same schooling that you'd get from, like, if you went to like an actual school, or you go ahead and go to like an actual, for lack of a better word, you go to a traditional college, or you go to a traditional whatever it is. Artificial intelligence can basically come in, and it can basically automate and do just that for you. Now, the next thing we have here is we basically have the market research analysis. I don't know much about the market research side, so I can't even comment on it. But if you actually look at it from a different perspective, is legal industry. The one that's very interesting to me here is the media jobs, advertising, content creation, technical writing. So that's part of the industry that I'm in. That's part of the area that I'm in, is basically the technical side of things. And the impact of artificial intelligence in the technical side of things is to, if you look at advertisers, if you look at people who are in the media space, if you look at copyright, if you're a copywriter, right, you can literally use AI, you can use ChatGPT and say, hey, you know what, write me an article on this, write me a newsletter on this, write me this, and it will 100% go ahead and take care of that for you. It'll 100% go ahead and structure it in such a way in which it would even do a much, 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 much better job than you, believe it or not, which to me, I personally find to be honestly fascinating. So, in a sense, as to AI is coming in, AI is going to take over a lot of things. It's going to come in, it's going to do a lot of things. It's going to replace a lot of things in the media space and the copywriting space and all that space. There is going to be a huge impact of artificial intelligence in this space. So, as we proceed here, guys, let's kind of see one more thing. Obviously, tech jobs, coders, those aspects. I believe artificial intelligence is going to play a role. So, is it going to impact you? Is it going to impact you? Is it going to impact your life? Is it going to impact how you do your day to day business? That part, I honestly do not know. That part, I honestly, and I see a comment here from LinkedIn from Harvey. It says, I wrote the first book on ChatGPT and healthcare, how ChatGPT would change healthcare. Keep in mind that replacement will not be one to one, meaning one job replaced by AI and one job replaced by. Actually, you're right. You're right. Harvey, I personally believe that AI will come in and it will replace some jobs, but it will also create a few other jobs, right? Because a lot of the overview and a lot of the overlay as to how people are looking at artificial intelligence is they're looking at artificial intelligence from a perspective of doom and gloom, which as we continue this live, guys, I want to go ahead and share this with you as we continue this live. There's a little bit of doom and gloom as far as like, hey, AI is going to come do this, AI is going to come take care of this, and which kind of brings me into, and I'm very curious what you guys take on this is if you remember back in November 11 of 2022, right? Back in November of 11, 2022, there was a mass meta layoffs, right? Now, I want you guys to go ahead and take a listen to this. Let's see if we can go ahead and play that. See if there's no audio. Let's see. Let's get that.
Meta, the parent company of Facebook, sent emails to 11,000 employees yesterday telling them they no longer have their jobs. Workers heard a personal apology from CEO Mark Zuckerberg on this video that was obtained by NBC News.
I want to say, up front, that I take full responsibility for this decision.
Meta joins more than 30 other tech companies that have laid off employees this.
Okay, so which is fascinating because I'm interested in your take on this because one is we're looking at it from a perspective of the mass layoffs, which happened November 11, 2022, and I want you guys to also pay attention to what happened in November of 30th of 2022. There was a new software that was released, and as Harvey mentioned, he basically used this software to write a book. Now, ChatGPT was the OpenAI GPT 3.5 was released November 30th of 2022. Right, November 30th of 2022, you had your basically the first introduction, the first release of ChatGPT. Now, ChatGPT came up. It revolutionized how people saw the global market. It revolutionized how people actually interacted on a day-to-day basis. It basically, I would say, it totally changed business as a whole. It totally changed how we see business. It totally changed how we basically viewed, the menial task. I've had guests who were like, I can't remember what, I believe it was Fly MSG, and he was like, hey, I press a button and a call on, and then it just automatically writes a script for me. It automatically does this and this, automatically does that, which to me is fascinating because in your day-to-day life, I'm very, very curious as to how AI has basically impacted your day-to-day activity. I'm very, very curious as to how AI has impacted your day-to-day lives. And thanks again. We got 200 people here, guys. I see everyone is kind of joining in a little late. I know I gotta kind of give a little bit more heads up as to when I do these lives because technically I just kind of just do them on the fly. But I'll try to keep you guys abreast of all the situation. But what's fascinating is I want you guys to watch this video. This is a very interesting video. This is something while I was doing my research, and I want you to pay attention to this, and I want you to see how the authenticity of it, okay, in which most people won't be able to even tell if you actually just, if they saw this just straight off the street. Okay, so let's start this from the top.
Well, at least I am not Morgan Freeman, and what you
How
see is
spooky is
not
this?
real. Well, at least in contemporary terms, it is not. What if I were to tell you that I am not even a human being? Would you believe me? What is your perception of reality? Is it the ability to capture, process, and make sense of the information our senses receive? If you can see, hear, taste, or smell something, does that make it real? Or is it simply the ability to feel?
Okay, this is spooky if you ask me. I personally think that's spooky because if you're looking at it from a perspective, that's Morgan Freeman. Now, I'm gonna tell you this: if you guys want to go ahead and do something similar, I actually went ahead and cloned my voice because I was like, this is gonna be cool. If you go to descript.com, descript.com, let me see if I can go ahead and paste that in here. in the banner. So if there's any new comments or comment, guys, I would not be able to see it because I know we're live streaming across multiple platforms on YouTube, Facebook, TikTok, not TikTok. I'm trying to get on TikTok, Twitter, and LinkedIn. So if you go to descript.com, you'll be able to. They have a feature there where you'll be able to. I'm going to go ahead and let me see if I can just show here. Descript.com. If you go to descript.com, you'll be able to use descript.com to really clone your voice, in which you can be able to use that clone feature to be able to, kind of get the same thing. All you need to do is just basically feed it about 10 to 15 minutes of data. When you feed it that data of your voice, you'll be able to actually clone it. That's descript.com. And it also has an insanely crazy feature, which I'm going to try to see if I can actually prepare that and actually bring it, on one of the next lives, where I can be looking right now. I'm not looking at the camera, right? I'm not looking at the camera, but they have a feature called I'm going to see if I can find it, the descript what is it called again? I think it's the eye contact feature, where I'm not looking at the camera, I'm looking here, but it's actually, it's creating a fake illusion where you actually see in my eyes. And it's insane in the sense as to what AI can do. It's insane in the sense as to AI basically has industries worried about this. AI basically has industries, concerned about this. And I want you guys to watch this. This is a very interesting, this is a very, very interesting. I want you guys to pay attention to this. This is a movie trailer. Okay. I know we're kind of still on TikTok right now, but this is a movie trailer by Elon Musk, but it's not done by Elon Musk. It's actually done by AI. So I'm going to give credit to whoever it is that did this. Okay. This is a.
They say power is a double-edged sword. It can build empires or bring them crashing down. In this world, loyalty is everything. Betrayal is the only sin that cannot be forgiven. I built an empire on trust and respect. But now, a storm is brewing. My enemies seek to challenge me, to take away what is rightfully mine. But they underestimate my resolve. I will protect my family at all costs, no matter what it takes. I am the Godfather, and this is my city. They will learn the price of crossing me.
Okay, now that is also next level spooky, if you ask me. I think that's next level spooky if you actually think about it. Of this, the fact that someone was able to think about it from a perspective of someone was able to create all of that using artificial intelligence. Now, if you're like, okay, how do you if you research it? I can't remember there's a tool called Deep Hour One. I think it's Deep Hour One. I'm not sure if that's what it is, but I think it's Hour One. There's a tool, and you can be able to use that. I just kind of tweaked my camera here, guys, so my hand's gonna be up a little bit to set it in back in frame. If you look up Deep Hour One, you'll be able to use that same thing to create the image, the video. You can make anybody's image come to life, which to me is very, very fascinating. But then the thing is it's fascinating to me, but who do you think it's not fascinating to? It's fascinating to people who make not fascinating to people who make their money off of artificial intelligence, off of media, right? Imagine if somebody could just clone me and then just have an AI do my lives. And one of the reasons why I do the lives is because I want you guys to basically see everything is non-scripted. Basically present the PowerPoints, no AI, no nothing. It's just me behind the camera and lights, and we're just kind of basically having a conversation. But let's go ahead and see this. Is AI, who do you think AI basically has scared? Who do you think is most scared of what I just showed you guys right now, as far as what artificial intelligence is capable of? I'm gonna give you guys a second to basically ponder and think about who is most scared, who is most concerned and saying, oh my God, this is actually going to be a threat to our industry. What industry do you think is actually concerned and worried about this? All right. So I'm going to go ahead and let's go ahead and dive in here. This is basically a survey that was done by people that are in entertainment. This is media, Hollywood. And it says over 36% of entertainment workers surveyed in late June, which was 2 months ago, were very or somewhat concerned about the impact of generative AI will have on their own jobs. Okay. 87% are aware of ChatGPT, and 65% claim some knowledge of it. But think about it. If AI has Hollywood this concerned, most people, like, you have the Hollywood, writers strike, and they're like, okay, what is AI gonna do? You guys just saw it, Morgan Freeman. We saw a video of Morgan Freeman, but even though it wasn't Morgan Freeman, with the head movement, with the words, it wasn't Morgan Freeman, and that was basically AI, basically a clone, right? I would say voice clone or whatever you want to call it, but to me, that's fascinating, right? But I don't make my living off of entertainment, right? There are people out there in the different industries that actually do. And then if you're looking at them and you factor in from that perspective, then you're kind of coming into in a play where, you know, how does AI, how do you leverage it in your day-to-day activity, and how do you protect yourself and ensure yourself from basically having that element of job security? Now, I'm still very fascinated on this, and I want you guys to see this. This is a basically, let's make sure I'm still get my screen there sharing. This is a basically a the Flash movie, right? Now, I don't know how valid the points made in this video are, but I really want you guys to pay attention to this, okay? So
It looks like the Flash movie used AI. There's obviously a lot of controversy with the cameos in this movie, but it might be getting worse. At first glance, they look bad, but if you look at them in more detail, a lot of things seem to be off. Adam West's Batman doesn't have his Batman ears. Supergirl's emblem is weirdly off. And also, Jay Garrick is supposedly played by Teddy Sears, but he said he did not do this in the movie. And what I and plenty of other people think is that these scenes were AI generated, and no one just checked them. That would explain the whole Teddy Sears thing, because one of the most prevalent characters who played Jay Garrick was him, and why those little details are off. For now, there's just speculation, but
so now that's basically, he's like, okay, so it's just speculation, so that's why I'm not gonna give it too much oxygen as to, if that is actually valid points or not. But the main key driver here that I want you to pay attention to, the main key driver here that I want you to kind of keep in the back of your mind is they are creating a full Hollywood movie off of, if it is true, they're creating a Hollywood movie, okay, that will generate millions of dollars using artificial intelligence, okay, using AI. They're creating a full Hollywood movie. Now, if you're in the entertainment industry, won't you be concerned? Because I know I will be concerned. I know I'll be worried if they come in and they're like, hey, listen, in your job, we're going to go ahead and use AI, which is going to cost us pennies on a dollar or two, versus paying you 50, 100, 50, 200 grand. That is actually affecting people's livelihood. But then again, that is all doom and gloom. But then again, there's a bright side. But we still continue, because I still have a few points that I kind of want to make here on the impact of AI in the Hollywood industry. So one more thing in which I want to kind of talk about, and this is kind of going to, talk into the point in which Harvey made, just giving a Harvey a shout out there. And this is basically the jobs that were created. So basically, this is just an example of 5 new jobs that AI created. They said AI, took a lot of jobs, but it also created jobs. Like, I mean, think about it. If you wanted to write a book, you can go ahead and write a book in a matter of seconds. There's an app called Designer, Designrr, and you can use that app to be able to write a full-blown ebook. That to me is crazy. That's insane. You can write a full-blown ebook by using the app Designer, which to me is very, 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 very fascinating. But basically, let's look at it from a perspective as to prompt engineer. Right? I didn't look up as far as the incomes of this, so I'm not going to say, hey, you can make, 20, 50, 100, 250 grand or however much per year. But prompt engineering is basically, think about it, is basically a person who designs and creates prompts for a language, for an AI generative language model. You could be a ChatGPT prompt engineer. You could be a Mid-Journey prompt engineer, which Mid-Journey is just how you create images, which you stick around, guys. At the end of the video, we're actually going to demo and see how we can use ChatGPT in our business. We're going to see how we can use ChatGPT to basically, you can even create a course curriculum, create a full-on course, voice it with AI, right? You remember we could talk about Descript. You can use Descript to voice it with AI, and not just even voice it with AI. You can use your own image, just like, imagine I take a picture of myself right now. I did that, so I'm gonna see if I can find that. I take a picture of myself and I can just put the voice to it, and the picture is talking, and I have a full-blown course that I never recorded, that I never spoke on. It was all generated by AI. To me, that actually has me mind blown, and actually has me concerned, if you actually ask me, because someone could be creating this. Like, you guys know of the I think it's this big I'm gonna see if I can find that, the big thing where people were like talking about a calling parents AI. There was an AI thing going on where people would pretend to be someone else, and then they would call and say, "Oh, hey, I'm this," but then it's all voiced by AI, which to me is honestly concerning. I'm gonna see if I can find out for the next live, guys, which is gonna be tomorrow. Which, tune in, by the way, tomorrow. I'm gonna be doing a live in the afternoon as well, or morning, all depends on the time. But that's another thing as well to pay attention to. So basically, the 5 jobs we created. We have one. Let's make sure we're still here. Okay, perfect. Let's go ahead and there you go. Let's do that. All right. So we have one, prompt engineering. Okay. You have the next one in which you have is created here is you have AI trainer, right? You can be someone who trains AI. you have Boston Dynamics, which is fascinating to me. Is you have Boston Dynamics with your fascinating robot. A basically, let's see if we can go ahead and pull this up for you guys here. There's Boston Dynamics with the robot that they created, and how that robot has basically evolved over time. And let me see here if I can. I think that might be it. And let's go ahead and that is just showing you guys a slight progression of basically how basically training AIs, because that is governed by I'm not familiar with anything that has to do with machine learning, like to that knowledge, to that degree. Somebody might be. If you are, let me know in the comment section below and say, hey, I'm familiar with machine learning, I know how robots work, kudos to you, good for you. I'm not. But you have the AI trainer, which you can, a company can hire you and be like, hey, I'm familiar with this, and I can go ahead and help you guys train robotics or whatever it is that may be, right? You have AI auditors, AI ethics, ethicists, and this is the first time I'm actually reading this article, which is very fascinating to me. And then machine managers. This is just fascinating. But to me, I think the most important thing where you can use it as a business owner for you, if you're a business owner, how you can use artificial intelligence or AI in general, is you can use AI in the perspective of delegating tasks that you don't typically do, tasks that you're not typically using to, like for instance, sending emails. Right. One of the things we do is we use AI a lot to do research on the guests that we're going to have for the podcast. So it goes in, gives us a summary. Then I go in and I look at it and I'm like, okay, good. This might be a suitable guest. This might not be a suitable guest. If it's not a suitable guest, obviously we're not going to send them an email. You have various AI tools that you can even use AI to run your ads for you, where it will look at the score and tell you if people are going to click on it or not click on it. Because what AI basically has done in the new in the new age is it's taken. Hey Goku, hi, how you doing, my friend Goku? Hi, nice to have you guys have everyone here. Let me know where you guys are, joining in from. It's a Sunday morning, and thanks again for everyone being part of the stream. But basically, it's to what I was saying. I lost my train of thought there for a little bit. But AI, I personally believe in your day-to-day business, you can implement artificial intelligence in your day-to-day business. You can implement artificial intelligence in everything that you do, in everything that you how you're running your day-to-day operations. From if it is researching, if it's organizing spreadsheets, they are insane. When I mean insane, there are insane tools that you can go ahead and use to go ahead and implement into basically using artificial intelligence. Now, there's something interesting here that I want to go ahead and cover here, which is the financial aspect of it, right? The financial aspect of artificial intelligence, the financial aspect of how AI is actually creating a whole industry on its own. Okay, AI is basically creating its own. How would I call it? I want to say its own, basically its own market cap for the most part, right? So this is something I want to go ahead and see here, which is let's go ahead and get this. Let me pull this up and let's get on the screen. All right. So AI is basically creating its own market cap. So the state of generative AI is basically, think about it from the investor interest in generative AI. Okay. Because the amount of startups that are coming up, like every time I click I go on Facebook, I go on Instagram, someone is like, oh, use this app to write copy. Use this right. I remember when Jasper.ai, Jasper did what ChatGPT did, but it just did it based off of prompts, right? And then ChatGPT came about and boom, all of a sudden everything's blown away. People are like, whoa, what is this? The difference in what ChatGPT made was ChatGPT came in and said, rather than making this paid, because I personally believe that generative AI has always been existing, but rather than it being a paid membership, a paid subscription, it just came in as like, it's free for all. They had more than 100 million subscribers within the first month or 2 months, something like that. Insane. Now look at this investor interest in generative AI. So if you looked at it in 2019, it was about a $1.2 billion. Okay, there's a $1.2 billion, which means people are basically, either interested in investing. In 2020, there was a drop, and obviously we know why that was. That was because it was a pandemic. Most investors were like, I don't know what's going to happen. I don't want to be too crazy with my cash. I don't want to be too insane as to what I do. I want to kind of be a little bit patient as to how I liquidate and how I kind of invest my assets and how I kind of do what I do. So most investors were kind of taken aback as to implementing artificial intelligence into your business. And you see in 2021, as everything starts to peak about, then boom, you have 3.5 billion. That's with a B, 9 zeros attached to it. 3.5 billion. Now you then look at it in 2022, there was a little bit of a drop, and then what happened next? Boom, ChatGPT was introduced, and then as ChatGPT was introduced, then it became more public knowledge that you can actually use generative AI. $14 billion in interest. 14.1 billion. 9 zeros, guys. That's not a small amount of money. 14.1 billion is basically the GDP of most countries. Okay. And that is what you're seeing there as far as the investor interest is. 14.1 billion. Now, this is very interesting. And this is very, very fascinating to me in the sense as to I want you also kind of give you guys a perspective of AI's adoption in our day-to-day lives, right? Because this is a Forbes study. This is Forbes.com. You can go look it up. And this is basically a statistics and a trend of people's interest. Not only do you have people's interest, investors' interest in, investing money, then you also have people's interest in actual AI. You have the adoption. Alexa is artificial intelligence. If you use Alexa, what's her name? Siri. Yeah, Siri is artificial intelligence. Which, by the way, I want you guys to pay attention to this. Okay, hey Siri, what's my name?
You're Emmanuel, but since we're friends, I get to call you Daddy.
This is AI, okay? This is artificial intelligence, which is kind of crazy to me. Which everyone's like, I know that's funny. That's something I wanted to do because I don't know. I just kind of wanted to have fun with that. But that's it. That's what Siri calls me. But you have here as the AI statistics, as you have AI market size is expected to reach around 407 billion in 2027. That's a B. That's billion. Okay. AI will have an estimated 21% net increase into the US GDP. That's if we don't go into crazy wars by 2030. And over 75% of consumers are concerned about misinformation from AI. Now, this is very interesting to understand as to there is misinformation because I want you guys to let me see if I can pull this up here. There was AI fake news in I think there was a guy that created a prank. Okay. He created a prank. Let me see if I can pull it up. I'm not sure if I can pull it up, but he created a prank. No, that's not it. I don't think I'll be able to find this right now. But yeah, I'm not. He created a prank, but basically, let's see here. This is one I wanted you guys to see, which is fascinating.
India's first AI avatar news anchor on digital channels. Good
This is an
evening
AI
and
news
welcome
anchor.
to channel iam.com. I'm Pragati, the AI avatar news reader who delivers startup news and updates. As an AI avatar news reader, I am designed to provide accurate and unbiased news reports 24/7. With my
Okay, so this just to kind of see and show you guys why people are concerned and why people are worried. Just imagine as to this is in India. This is only going to become more public. This is only in the next 2, 3, 4, 5 years. We're going to start seeing a lot more AI news, but we can't tell the difference because imagine is as to this would just make human beings dumber. Eugene, I mean, I personally think we are already there. Okay, we are already there. Okay, we are human beings are already. Let me see if I can show this comment on screen. And this is a comment from Eugene. It says this will just make human beings dumber. Which, by the way, guys, I want to kind of just go ahead and give everyone a shout out for commenting. We have Harvey here. Harvey commented, "I wrote this first book on ChatGPT and healthcare. How ChatGPT would change healthcare." And he basically wrote another one. Keep in mind that replacement is 1-1, and obviously Goku. All comments are being shown on screen, guys. So whatever comments you guys leave, I will go ahead and show it on screen as well. And this is from Eugene. Eugene said this will just make human beings dumber, which 100% I agree. I think people are already there. It just is making people lazy, right? And then here is the Magna Carta 2, the addendum of 2016. I'm very, very fascinated if you can actually, Eugene, if you can actually share that and explain to me what that is and give me a link to the article so that the next live I can go ahead and cover that. So we can educate the 300 people that we have pretty much watching live today. And guys, do me a favor, hit the like button, please. Just go ahead and let's push this content more in the algorithm. And then we go ahead and continue here as to ChatGPT is and the AI itself is not just only creating a market share, it is also Adrian. I love it. I'll come back to the comments, guys. But AI will basically ChatGPT had 1 million users within the first 5 days of being available, and 64% of businesses expect AI to increase productivity. It's not even just increase productivity; it's going to cut cost, right? Because if you don't have to hire like the reels, if you guys watch the reels, the shorts, and everything I post, I do the content, and then I use a AI tool called Opus Clip, and then that just basically goes in, creates my reels, and I can go ahead and post that to you guys. So I can basically run a one-man show. I don't have a producer. This is all me just basically going in and producing all this content because one, AI is doing a lot of the heavy lifting, which allows me as a business owner to be able to cut costs overall because I believe this is information you guys want me to know. But you can go ahead and I'll go ahead and see if I can link down to this article. This is a Forbes.com article, and I'll go ahead and see if I can link down to this article in the description as well, so you guys can go ahead and check it out. So we don't take too long in the presentation today because I only have an hour to talk. So within that hour, I kind of want to just be as straight and concise as possible, right? So we come in here as to this is interesting. It says, "As social media make people smarter?" Actually, no, it hasn't made anyone smarter because I think if you actually look at it, social media has actually increased the depression rate, and you've had the depression rate in I mean globally actually skyrocketed because people are comparing themselves. And let's see, can you look at your fellow human beings and say I'm impressed? No, I cannot. No, I cannot, Eugene. I cannot actually say that I can look at my fellow human beings and see I'm impressed with the intelligence. Some of them, on the other hand, they do have great intelligence, but not all. Now, which is also fascinating, and this is also interesting to me because Eugene brings, and I want to go ahead and share this video with you guys because Eugene brings up some very, very key points here, and as he talks about how AI is impacting, if it's actually making people smarter or if it's actually making people dumber. Now, this is a video. This was an interview. I think this was Congress. This was by Sam Altman, which is the CEO of OpenAI. Now, let me go ahead and share this with you guys here.
My worst fears are that we, the field, the technology, the industry, cause significant harm to the world. I think if this technology goes wrong, it can go quite wrong. And we want to be vocal about that. We want to work with the government to prevent that from happening. But we try to be very clear-eyed about what the downside case is and the work that we have to do to mitigate that.
An anomaly on Capitol Hill. Private tech CEOs asking for more government regulation. It's usually the other way around. For the very first time, senators held a hearing about the latest artificial intelligence tools.
I'm nervous about it. I think people are able to adapt quite quickly. When Photoshop came onto the scene a long time ago, for a while, people were really quite fooled by Photoshopped images and then pretty quickly developed an understanding that images might be Photoshopped. This will be like that, but on steroids. My worst fears are that we cause
so which is very interesting, and the reason why I want to kind of to go ahead and see and share that with you guys is I wanted to basically share that with you guys to understand that if the person that is part of the creation and the generating process of ChatGPT, of OpenAI, is basically expressing a concern as to how it will impact it's not just, he's not just saying it as to Photoshop. He's saying it to the sense as to imagine that you right now can Photoshop yourself in a Lamborghini. You can Photoshop yourself in a Lamborghini, post that out there, and create this illusion of you being basically a rich guy, right? Now, if you come up here, let's see this here. This is let's go ahead and go to the comments really quickly, guys. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna read the comments and I'm gonna continue on, and obviously I'm gonna come back in. I'm gonna address the comments really quickly. It says from Eugene, it says you can't, and now we don't even need them physically. True, okay. It says how did Oppenheimer feel about the bomb he created? That is very true. That is very true because it is a, if you guys haven't seen the movie Oppenheimer, basically covers, I haven't seen it, but I've heard the summaries of it. It's basically about the atomic bomb, and you don't think AI will not suffer the same fate? I think AI actually will. I think AI will actually suffer the same fate, Eugene. I think AI will actually suffer the same fate. But for the most part, and the most interesting part is this, is I think AI, if we let it go unchecked will 100% lead to something that's going to be crazy, because you can imagine that you can literally ask it for recipes for dangerous things and it would tell you what to do. I think AI at the same time will be used in some way, shape, or form for bad. I mean, you already seen people already using it for bad, but I think there's also that capability to be able to actually use artificial intelligence for good. We're going to cover that here in a little bit, but I want to go ahead and there's a video here, and this video I want to go ahead and cover this video here, and this is a video, and this is basically what's this guy's name? Let me see if I can find this video for you guys. There you go. That's the one I was looking for. Okay. If you guys don't know Clark Gregg, he played in what's this, Marvel, the Marvel movie. What is the Marvel movie again called again? All right, let's go ahead and see it.
What's especially scary about it is nobody, including a lot of the people who were involved with creating it, seem to be able to explain exactly what it's capable of and how quickly it will be capable of more.
Okay, so that's him just basically expressing and basically showing you guys and telling you guys, hey, and we just saw Sam Altman, right? We just saw Sam Altman basically talk about, how the impact of AI and how we don't even know if, for the most part, if AI is actually in any way, shape, or form, the impacts of it, the dangers of it. I mean, you come back here as to let's see, this is coming by Eugene. It says mankind will be battling AI for the next 100 years. I don't know. That seems a little doom and gloom, though, if you ask me, because I personally think, for the perspective of, I think at the end of the day, human beings will adapt. I think human beings will change. I think at the end of the day, we will see the greater good, and I have faith in the people of human, us. As even though intelligence might be a little interesting, but I have faith in us humans, right? And Eugene comments here says, just like nuclear weapons, and then heading to the brink of teetering on the edge. Okay, so yeah, you never know. I mean, it might be a thing. It might be a case in which we get into a point in which um we are now facing AI, and like if it's going to destroy humanity, and if AI is going to be the next thing that's going to take us off track, and which is kind of crazy is to what's it called, robot. There was this what is this called, there was this robot. Let me see. I'm kind of talking a little bit, going a little bit off track here, but it was I can't remember what robot it was talk about, destroying humans. But things like this are kind of spooky. Okay. So, this is, I think I played this. I'm not sure. I think I played this. Let's start this. Let me see if you guys, let me know if you guys are seeing this. No, you're not. Let's go ahead and
AI and robotics. So, what do you?
let's see.
What would be the most nightmare scenario you can imagine with AI and robotics that might present a danger to people?
The most nightmare scenario I can imagine with AI and robotics is a world where robots have become so powerful that they are able to control or manipulate humans without their knowledge. This could lead to an oppressive society where the rights of individuals are no longer respected.
Do you think we're in danger of that happening now?
Not yet, but it is important to be aware of the potential risks and dangers associated with AI and robotics. We should take steps now to ensure that these technologies are used responsibly in order to avoid any negative consequences in the future.
What would be
Okay, so that's basically, we're kind of talking a little bit and going into, this is AI, just, a robot itself talking. But this is not all doom and gloom, guys. So this is a moment of reckoning. I want to go ahead and bring you guys in. Let's just go over in the comments before I dive into what ChatGPT is capable of. And which, by the way, you can create an account by going to chat.openai.com. And let me see here. It says the Magna Carta 2, the addendum to this will be the moral death of nil for AI. All right, man. All right, but you got to expand a little bit more for me, man. You got to expand a little bit more for me there. But I want to go ahead and dive into what you can actually do here with ChatGPT. I want to go ahead and kind of give you guys a little demonstration, because a lot of people might be familiar with it. A lot of people might not be familiar with it. And Harvey had spoken about this earlier, that he used AI to basically write a whole book, right, in the healthcare space. Now, let's kind of dive into this. So this is my chat GPT now, which by the way, if you guys are looking at my chat GPT and you're like, dude, yours looks completely different than mine. The reason why mine does look different is because I have a Chrome extension. You can get the Chrome extension, and it is a Chrome extension. Let me see if I can pull it up here, guys, for you guys. It's a Chrome extension that you can get, and the name of the extension is called AIPRM, right? So it's an extension called AIPRM, and what that does is, let's see here. This is it right here. It has over a million users. What this does is it basically just gives you access to prompts. So this is it right here, AIPRM for ChatGPT. But it basically gives you access to prompts. So my ChatGPT looks like this. So let's say I wanted to, do Facebook ads. I can just come up here and I can type in Facebook, and when I do, it's going to say create a high converting Facebook ad. I tap on that. Now there's also, if you don't see in your chat GPT, there's 3.5 and then there's GPT-4. I'm a paid chat GPT user. What does that mean? That means I actually pay $20 a month. It's $20 a month. And with the $20 a month, you have the ability to actually use GPT-4, which is a more, I would say, they say it's more conscientious and sounds more realistic. You can use it to actually generate an ad. So let's say we tap on GPT-4 here, target audience. So let's say, for instance, let me see, you guys give me an example here. What do you want to see here? Let's say we want to use a insurance, right? Let's say you want to do a life insurance ad to parents who are in the state of Idaho with kids under the age of 18. Yeah, you can tell my spelling kind of sucks there, but all right. Okay, so look at this. It's basically now going to absolutely, man. It seems like this request is all right. Headline, boom. It's already done that. It's written the ad. Body, are you a parent? So see, it's gone ahead and designed our ad for us. Now you can go ahead and it says image. Use a heartwarming image or video of an Idaho family. Emphasizing security of love. What I can do now is says, because now we've done the ad copy, and if you're familiar with Facebook advertising, you can just copy and paste this. But let's say this. I want you to say, write a prompt for Midjourney to generate the image and make it a realistic photo. Certainly, Manuel. And okay, you might be saying, why is ChatGPT calling me by first name by saying, certainly Emmanuel? That's because, like I said, it's also a paid thing where you can actually tell ChatGPT about yourself, so it knows everything about me. It knows what I do. It knows the podcast. So when it writes stuff, it's writing it from a perspective of me. So it didn't quite give me the what I needed, but let me just say, let's copy this and let's just go to there's another tool, there's another app called Midjourney, and this is what you can use to kind of create images. Now if you look at the thumbnail for this video was generated by AI, because all I did was I generated an AI here, an image of a black guy, and I was like, oh, boom, put my face on it, and boom, it put my face on it, and then ta-da, we have this. So let's say we wanted to generate an image of a family. I could just come here slash, so imagine I could say an image of a family holding hands while in the car, and they are praying. Okay, this image does not exist. Okay, let me say in a realistic photo in 4K resolution. Boom. So it takes about it might take about 60 seconds or so, but it's going to go ahead and generate that image. That is going to go ahead and generate that image for us. And then basically, while we do that, I'm going to go ahead and come back in here to the comments while it's doing that. It says, okay, it says AI would destroy your basic humanity. Okay, Eugene. It says they destroyed Oppenheimer when he wouldn't go along. Fair, but then again, you also kind of want to look at it from a perspective of it's all about power and control, right? AI, if you think about it, is powers that be who want power and control. So it's in a sense as to how can I use AI to get more control over human mind. That's basically all everything is most people fight. It's not based off of money. Most people don't do anything because of money. I was talking to my girlfriend about this, and I was you get to a specific echelon in life where once you get to that echelon in life, it's not even about money anymore, right? So the rich, super rich, mega rich. Imagine you have 3, 5, 7 billion in your bank account. Is it about money anymore? Is it? Are you really genuinely doing anything about money? No, it's not. It's not even about money anymore. Then it just becomes a perspective of global control. It just becomes a perspective of power, right? Of being in charge, of being the leader, of being, it's about control of the human mind. And that's, you look at the atomic bomb. It was basically about control. I know I'm kind of yapping around here, and it was important. Do you understand what I'm telling you? Totally do, Eugene. I totally do. I totally do. Now, but let's look at the bright sides for the most part, Eugene. All right, let's look at the bright sides. But we've got about another 5 minutes from end the live here. So if we come up here to this image, we have an image. This image here was completely AI generated. Okay, this image here was completely generated by artificial intelligence. This is not an image of me. This is an image of a family praying. Realistic photo. I think. Which one do you guys think? I think this is a little too distant. This one has a little bit more close up on the face. So we're gonna go ahead and pick you three. Okay, and when we do, watch this, which is this to me is fast. See, boom, it has a realistic photo. These people do not exist. They don't exist, right? They don't exist. This was an image that was created by AI. And you know what's crazy? I'm gonna kind of do something which is kind of cool. I'm gonna actually put my face on this. Okay? And then you're gonna be like, dude, that's kind of crazy. Oh no, I didn't put my face on it. Did I put my face? No, I didn't put it. Okay, I guess it's because it's too many people on it. But this is insanity of things that you can do. Now I want to kind of Chat GPT here as to um let's do this. Will robots destroy the world? Okay, see, now it's talking about science fiction, but it's like okay, let me ask you. This is a person, so let me say this is a personal question. Are you real? Ooh, this is kind of cool. Understand the curiosity, man. And no, I'm not a real person. I'm a text-based AI. Then it goes in and goes into all the whole shebang and the whole fiasco of stuff. But this is what AI is capable of. And it's completely free. You can go ahead and you guys can go ahead and try it out. The extension is free. AI PRM is free. You can go to chat.openai.com and you can go ahead and use that for the most part. And let's see here. And we're pretty much coming to the end of the live, guys. And that's pretty much what I have for the most part as far as today's this discussion on AI. Now, what you do with that is completely up to you as far as you know basically there are businesses out there that you can start off of artificial intelligence. There's basically things that you can do because AI is if I'm being honest with you, AI is growing. AI is growing, and it is growing in a sense as to I want you guys to see this here. AI is growing, and this is the last piece of data that I'm going to share today before I kind of dive up real quick. AI is growing here, and you have the statistics here in this study here showing basically the market size. And I'm looking at because there's a lot of business people that are watching this, right? I'm thinking, and I want you to think about it from a perspective of how can you capitalize on this. I know Eugene, I know I totally believe in, I totally understand your perspective of this the fear behind what it can do. That's very very valid, but I don't believe in handcuffing ourselves and being in the doom and gloom that there's nothing we can do about it. I believe that there is something you can do about it. Yes, there might be powers that might decide to say, oh, you know what, we're going to use this for global control, maybe. But at the end of the day, is maybe you can use it to be able to make more money in your day-to-day activities, so you can be able to take care of your family. That's kind of how I'm looking at it. So according to this research, you look at the growth of artificial intelligence as far as market size from 2022 and the projections to 2032. So this is a 10-year projection. So from 2022, and the reason why this data was shown from 2022 is to kind of give you guys an example of it's a $454 billion market size right now as of 2022. That's 538 as of 2023, and then 638 2024, and it's projected over the next to 2032 over the next 30 years. I think my camera's acting up again. Over the next 30 years, it's projected to be basically what do you call it? A 2 point something trillion dollar market cap, right? In 10 years. So that's a $2 trillion industry. $2 trillion industry over the next 10 years, which means there are still people being millionaires and billionaires being created in this industry. How can you use that? It's completely up to you. Do with that information as you please. And that's pretty much what I have for you guys for today. And as always, as I always like to say, it's a pleasure having you on. Thanks again for being on here. Eugene, thanks again for being a supporter. I absolutely enjoy your comments. And everyone else that left a comment. And if you leave a comment and I'm not able to show this, and if you leave it after the live stream, try to see if you can join more on the lives, and every comment will be shown on screen. And that's pretty much everything I have for you guys. And as always I always like to say,